Today, I'm gonna make a candle that you can eat. And yes, it's gonna be made of Wagyu. It's not gonna be some massive pile of beef. That would be rather disgusting, even if this Wagyu is quite beautiful. Cut the candle. It's going to be made of these precious Wagyu fat scraps. And my goal today will be to make a candle out of this fat that would fool just about anybody. So basically, it'll be a normal candle, except it'll be edible. And because I have a lot of scraps to work with,
massive.
But wait, how did I end up with a freezer full of $10,000 worth of Wagyu fat? Well, it's simple, really. Over the past year or so, I've cooked a lot of Wagyu. I made a beautiful, juicy burger, and one that was quite possibly the most aesthetically pleasing I have ever seen. I took on quite the experiment and butter-aged a rather large Wagyu strip loin. I made a monstrous Wagyu beef gyro, and even some Wagyu sushi. One of my favorite things to make, and more importantly, eat over the last year, was a Wagyu Crunchwrap Supreme. Taco Bell had no idea what hit them. I somehow even got my hands on an extremely rare bone-in 100-day dry-aged Wagyu. Now, if you've been paying attention to my videos, you know that Wagyu has a lot of fat. In fact, it basically is fat. So anytime I've cooked, trimmed, done basically anything with Wagyu over the past year, I've ended up with a ton of fat scraps. And it's all been tossed away in the freezer, sad and lonely and neglected. And yes, all of this Wagyu is the real deal. In fact, I've got all the papers to prove it. I've even got the cow's nose print. In part, this mega candle we're making today will be a symbol. One to tell you about the fact that I've secretly spent the last year creating the world's first ever food-scented candle company called Flambe. Every single candle will be food-scented. It's also the first time we know of that a chef has created a candle company, which, based on the way these smell, should happen more often. Our first 3 fragrances launched today: frosted lemon scone, vanilla blueberry cobbler, and brown sugar oatmeal. I spent time both in the kitchen and a lab with a huge team creating these, and I couldn't be more proud of them. Be sure to click the link in the description below to check them out, and now let's get back to that Wagyu candle. Take this big cut of meat right here, for instance. All this fat on the top here can be used for other things. We don't want to eat this much fat. So this type of scrap right here is what we're going to be using today to make that candle. Think of this right here as a piece of butter. We're just going to melt it down and reshape it into a candle form, and that whole candle is going to be edible. To start, we have a lot of fat scraps to work with today, with the ultimate goal of filling up this entire candle, which between us will probably be worth more than $10,000. And then we're gonna light it and bring in a few lucky subscribers to eat up some of that candle fat on some nice fresh bread. To start, we're gonna cook off some of this Wagyu bone marrow. Many people have never even heard of bone marrow, but these are all the actual bones from a cow. And the part right inside the middle of every bone is delicious. You can think of it as a beef flavored butter. While we melt off the rest of our fat, I'm gonna toss these in the oven at 350 Fahrenheit until they start to melt. To start, we're gonna go ahead over low heat and put in all of those beef fat scraps. These scraps here are made up of scraps from all different cuts of beef. And as you can tell by the color of some of them, this was dry aged. At this point, the first round of beef fat is melted. And now it's time to pour off that first round of fat into our bowl. It may be hard to believe, but what you're looking at right here is gonna turn into a butter fat-like consistency once we pour this into the candle. So basically, we're gonna be repeating this process many times over to get enough fat to fill our $10,000 Wagyu candle. It's crazy to me that every piece of Wagyu we add here is probably another $25. You know, this is not the first time someone's making a candle out of beef. A restaurant did it a while back, but it definitely wasn't as cool as ours is gonna be. At this point, our bone marrow is finally done. Some people might find this far too nasty, but I can scoop out all that fat on the inside, and that is perfect butter. In fact, this will probably be the tastiest bit in our entire candle today. Now that we've melted down all our fat, it's time to glue the wick to the bottom of the candle, for which I'm gonna go back to 3rd grade and use a bit of hot glue. Our wick has just come right out of the freezer, and we're gonna carefully glue it right to the bottom of our candle. First, we'll feed our wick through this makeshift cardboard piece, just because I don't want to be standing here for several hours while this candle sets. Then we'll pour in our first giant thing of fat. That's a steady stream of fat right there. As you can see from the sides of the candle right here, this fat is already drying right away, and you can see it's that same exact color as a normal candle. And again, we'll fill it up the rest of the way so that the candle is perfectly right up to the brim. And that right there is exactly $10,000 worth of Wagyu fat. At this point, this is gonna take several hours to set, but I can't believe what we're looking at right now. This is genuinely probably one of the craziest things I've ever seen in the kitchen, and I know already that we're gonna need our flamethrower to light this thing. Now, we wait. It took us about 3 whole hours in the fridge, but the candle is finally solidified. And now it's time to trim the umbilical cord. This feels like one of those ribbon cutting ceremonies where they build it all the way up, and then it's pretty anticlimactic, but here we go. Our candle is done, but we couldn't eat this all by ourselves. It's way too big. So we had to bring in a few random subscribers to help us out today. Yeah! First things first, guys, we got you all your own baguettes so you can dive into this thing, because I think we're gonna need a lot of bread to eat this. But I think we need to use something kind of crazy to light it up. I think we got it. Look at that. All right. So now it's time to try it. Who's up first? Come on in.
Yeah, I can go.
What's your name?
Will.
Thanks for coming today. You ready?
Yeah.
Have you ever eaten a candle before?
No, I have not.
All right, so you're gonna grab some bread?
All right.
What's your strategy here?
I think
you're gonna dip it without like breaking it? You're just gonna dip it like...
You just gotta go for the scoop sometimes.
What?
Oh my...
You're just gonna... How is it? It's kind of weird, honestly. I don't really know what to say about this. And there's just a giant hole in the candle. Manny, can we escort him off?
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can get our next subscriber and maybe one that's gonna treat the bread in a slightly more normal way. All right, what's your name?
I'm Luke.
Luke, all right, let's see what you do. Oh, he left his baguette here. The whole thing's for you. Okay, keep it. You're gonna rip it in half.
Yeah.
Good strategy. Let's see what you think. It's all melting now too, so it's starting to look really good, right? Oh wow, it's a big bite. That's a good looking bite.
Oh, that's so good.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's actually really good.
That looked really good. Just do it, right? Oh! Can you give that a rating out of 10 of like your bread and butter experiences that you've had in life?
10 out of 10.
Is it a full 10? Really?
Absolutely.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next person, come on in. What's your name?
Sophie.
Sophie. All right, nice to meet you. I want to get your honest opinion on this.
Right, I'm thinking I'm gonna make a sandwich.
I like
Just
that
like a fat
idea a lot.
sandwich.
That's good. Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
That actually looks really good, honestly.
Okay, wait.
Wow, I've never seen that kind of thing before. It's pretty good. Like,
It tastes like bread.
that's it?
There's like straight bread.
It's not going to be a 10 out of 10, obviously, at this point.
I give it like a 6.5.
Because there's just not much
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I mean, we don't have any salt in here, to be fair. We didn't
Right.
season it up because we didn't want the candle to have like specks of pepper
I can
everywhere.
also try just the normal slice.
I feel like that'll be better, honestly. At least you'll taste like the beef, maybe?
That's
or no?
better.
It's
That's
a little
better.
better,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
still, it's like
That's
not
better.
fully there.
8.5 out of 10.
Oh, she bumped the score.
8.5.
8.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Thank you. What's your name?
Yejin.
Yejin. You're taking the whole baguette.
Oh no, I'm
What?
not brave enough for that. I'm sorry.
No, you have to take the whole baguette. I insist, you have to take the whole baguette. You know, I think it's just more fun that way, no?
I agree.
You don't have to eat the whole thing right now. Let's see.
It does,
Good?
It tastes like that. It does taste like that.
Do you like taste beef in there or like Wagyu or anything like that or not really?
It tastes like, yeah. It's,
Sophie thought it was really subtle, right?
I don't think it's subtle. I think
It's not subtle at all.
Oh, it's not?
No,
She lied to us before.
it's really good.
You like it? Do you like the experience of eating out of the candle or is it just kind of plain weird? Kind of
I
weird.
think I like
Oh,
it.
you like it. She liked it. Okay. I also noticed your earrings say work in progress. Manny is a massive work in progress.
We can relate on that.
All right, come on in. What's your name?
I'm Joe.
Joe, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Last baguette is for you. We want to see Joe's strategy. You were the last one to go, and I saw you planning.
Just going just the tip.
Just the tip. Good strategy. If you were served this in a restaurant, would you stay?
I would stay.
Yeah?
I'd eat the whole thing.
You'd eat this entire candle.
I'd do my best.
Honestly, I mean, you should take the whole thing back with you. What's your rating on like classic bread and butter scale, just in all the bread and butter you've had in your life? Start of a meal, whatever. What do you think?
Go 9.5.
9.5?
Yeah.
We had some high scores today. I
Yeah.
love it. Thanks,
Get the
Joe.
umami. Yeah,
I
no
love
problem.
it. Amazing. I want to give a massive thank you to all the subscribers that came today. What are you doing?
Just want to dip the other tip.
Now that all those subscribers are left, I think it's time for me to try this. And I'm really gonna dredge that tip for a while. I wanna make sure this thing is nice and evenly coated and soaks up a nice amount of that beef fat. And here we go. I actually kind of like that. We've done a lot of crazy things, and I have to say that was probably one of the coolest videos yet. To be totally honest, I find the Wagyu fat on bread to be very similar to butter. In fact, I actually think I like them both equally. But the more exciting thing today is this. Like I said, we spent over a year on these candles. And while I definitely don't recommend dipping your bread in these ones, they'll make your entire house smell like whatever food you want. Again, click the link in the description below to grab a candle for yourself or for the best holiday gift ever. For now, I'm gonna finish up this Wagyu candle.